Hello and welcome to News Round, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. Coming up, Federal High Court in Abuja nullifies 800 billion naira budget signed into law by River State Governor Fubara, which he presented to an assembly of foreign lawmakers. A Supreme Court upholds 5-year sentence of former House of Representative member Farouk Lawan for receiving a bribe of $500,000 from businessman Femi Otedola. And President Bola Tinubu receives United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken as part of his tour of the West African sub-region. Plus, UN top court delivers ruling in South Africa's genocide case against Israel. And that's News Round in View. We begin News Round in the nation's capital, where the judiciary takes center stage. A federal high court presided over by Justice James Omotosho nullified the 800 billion naira budget signed into law by the River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara late last year. Justice Omotosho also upheld the suit filed by the Rivers House of Assembly and Speaker Martin Amerole against Governor Fubara, who sought an order of injunction restraining the governor from frustrating the assembly under his leadership as Speaker, among others.
On December 13th last year, the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, sent the 2024 budget to the State House of Assembly for approval, following a decamping of some members to the APC from the PDP and a state high court ruling recognizing about 5 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. They had a session presided over by Honorable Edison Ehe. During that sitting, they passed the state's 2024 budget. The document was then passed to the governor, who assented to the 2024 budget. The Federal High Court in Abuja, and presided over by Justice James Omotosho, has now nullified the said budget of 800 billion naira. While nullifying the budget, Justice Omotosho also declared that the governor or members of staff of the River State Public Service are not entitled to take steps aimed at interfering with the affairs of the River State House of Assembly in the performance of their duties. The judge prohibited the governor from withholding funds due to state lawmakers and issued a restraint against the National Assembly, preventing them from considering any request from the governor. Justice Omotosho noted that Ehe, who claimed to have resigned from the Rivers State Assembly, lacked legal standing in the case as he was no longer the speaker or a member. The judge also found it perplexing that the governor destroyed the assembly building and presented the budget to only 4 lawmakers, declaring the presentation as void. Another was granted to halt the demolition, and all actions of the governor with the lawmakers were declared null and void.
The court equally stated clearly that all acts done by the governor, the 11 defendants, the Attorney General and River State government, while this suit was pending, and after he had made an order on the 30th day of November 2023, were a nullity, including proceedings wherein the governor had purported to have presented to 4 members of the House, led by Edison, Honorable Edison, appropriation bill.
The ruling of the Federal High Court in Abuja has drawn reactions from some stakeholders in Rivers State.
The arguments adduced by the Federal High Court judge are sound in law. They are sound. But I'm almost going to advocate that common sense should be included as one of the sources of law.
The good thing about the judgment is that this is the court of first instance. Because it's court of first instance, the River State governor have right of appeal. But coming home, I felt that when a peace process is in place, that all parties should pursue that peace to a logical conclusion.
Meanwhile, another resident of Rivers State sees the lawsuit as a betrayal of the ongoing peace agreement.
Part of the process, the governor said it. The governor has also the right to represent this here, part of the sacrifice for peace. has withdrawn all his cases and went further to resign as member of the Rivers Assembly. That has shown that the governor wants peace. So for us, I don't know what is really happening. I was thinking that they should also withdraw their matter in court.
What is left to be seen is if the Rivers State government will appeal the judgment. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
And still on legal matters, the immediate past governor of Anambra State, Mr. Willie Obiano, has pleaded not guilty to the 9-count charge of money laundering preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Governor Obiano took his plea after he was arraigned before Justice Iyan of the Federal High Court, Abuja, over the alleged money laundering of 4 billion naira. Meanwhile, counsel for the prosecution, Mr. Sylvanus Tahir, says he has 15 witnesses lined up to testify against the former governor.
The immediate past governor of Anambra State, Mr. Willie Obiano, is at the Federal High Court, Abuja, for his arraignment by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on allegations of money laundering to the tune of 4 billion naira. Mr. Obiano is accused of moving the amount from security votes into different accounts between March 2014 and March 2022. Some of the charges include the transfer of the sum of 158,800,000 from the Anambra State Security Vote account into an account that has no link to the state government between 7th February 2018 and 18th February 2019. The transfer of the sum of 261,268,585 naira from the Anambra State Security Vote account to an account that has no link to the state government between 9th August 2017 and 7th March 2020, amongst others. The EFCC alleges that he committed the offences contrary to Section 15(2)(b) of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended in 2012 and punishable under Section 15(3) of the same Act. He pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him. Mr. Obiano is currently on administrative bail granted by the EFCC, which includes providing 2 sureties who are directors in civil service, own landed property in Abuja, and also includes tendering his international passport. The trial judge, Justice Iyan adopted the administrative bail and added that he remains within the Federal Capital Territory while ordering that his travel documents be submitted to the court.
Additionally, since the court wasn't part of the previous bail conditions, we applied that the verification be done on the residential and business addresses of sureties. And like you know, bail is always a discretion of the court. While he was with us, to the best of my knowledge, he didn't flout any of those bail conditions. The important thing is that he should appear before the court for his trial, which is what the court emphasized.
The case has been adjourned to March 3rd to 7th for trial. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
And now to the case of former House of Representatives member Farouk Lawan. The Supreme Court has upheld his 5-year jail term as ruled by the Court of Appeal for accepting a $500,000 bribe from businessman Femi Otedola during his tenure as chairman of the House of Representatives ADIC Committee on Fuel Subsidy Probe. In a unanimous decision, the court dismissed Mr. Lawan's appeal, stating that his argument, which included a claim that he was not allowed to plead for leniency, lacked merit.
Well, it's been a long journey from FCC High Court. They went to Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal affirmed the sentence of the FCC High Court on the 3rd count that he should serve a 5-year term. And that was why he came to Supreme Court. And today, the Supreme Court has affirmed the judgment of Court of Appeal that the 3rd count stands and is convicted on the 3rd count, and he should serve the 5-year term. So there were 3 issues, and the 3 issues were resolve in the favor of the respondent, who is the federal government.
Meanwhile, drama unfolded at the Plateau State House of Assembly after 8 of the lawmakers gathered at a near makeshift chambers at the old government house to resume legislative duties after a 2-month recess. This came as the Assembly planned to inaugurate 16 All Progressives Congress members who were declared lawmakers of the Assembly by the Appeal Tribunal. The unplanned inauguration was, however, put on hold after the 16 lawmakers who were sacked by the tribunal assembled at the premises, accompanied by a large number of supporters.
After 2 months of recess, legislative duties at the Plateau State House of Assembly is expected to kick off with the inauguration of 16 new legislators from the All Progressives Congress as declared by the Appeal Court, but events took an unexpected turn. Supporters of the People's Democratic Party accompanied the 16 members sacked by the Appeal Tribunal to the premises of the makeshift assembly at the old government house. The PDP members are claiming that the judgment of the Supreme Court affirming Governor Caleb Mutfwang of the PDP as governor of Plateau State should also be in their favor. In total, 32 members are asserting ownership of the 16 slots in the State Assembly, an anomaly that calls for concern.
For now, I'm not a law interpreter. As you know, we are lawmakers, but I'm in receipt of a court process that is in place. So for now, there's nothing as an assembly we can say, because as law-abiding lawmakers, we allow the institution saddled with responsibility of interpretation of the law to interpret the law. So at due cost, we will feed the public with the next line of action. But for now, we have 8 House of Assembly members who are in place until the determination of the court process.
We are satisfied.
Former Majority Leader of the House, on behalf of the sacked PDP members, expresses satisfaction with the stand of the Speaker.
We are law-abiding citizens of this country and this state, and we are lawmakers. We are not supposed to be lawbreakers. And as you can see, we coordinate ourselves. We are harmonious in our approach, and we are cordial. And by that, we agree absolutely with the position of the leadership of the Plateau State House of Assembly, and we abide by that.
A constitutional lawyer and professor of law at the University of Jos, who was also a deputy governor in Nasarawa State, Professor Onje Giawado, is of the opinion that the sacked legislators should not resort to violence, but rather toe the path of the Constitution in addressing the issue.
Ordinarily, we don't expect anything because it was dealing with a matter different, but on the same score, on the same facts, as it were, whether there was structure or no structure, whether it was a matter of party or no party. But the Supreme Court was not complimentary at all when it came to this question, and that's why people are thinking that you could do any other thing.
At present, only 8 members of the House of Assembly are eligible to conduct legislative duties until the issue is resolved.
One News Hour return to bring you the ICJ's ruling on South Africa's genocide claims against Israel. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. Well, there was mild drama at the Ogun State House of Assembly on the change of leadership, and the Speaker of the House, Honorable Olakunle Luomo, has been impeached by 18 out of the 26 members of the State Assembly. In his place, Honorable Ludaisi Lemide from Odeda State constituency in Ogun's Central Senatorial District has been elected as the new Speaker. The former Speaker was impeached by the members over alleged high-handedness, misappropriation of funds, a lack of focus and direction, among other offences.
This is the drama that played itself out at the Ogun State House of Assembly as some members tried to force the gate open to effect a change in the leadership of the House. The Deputy Speaker, Bolanle Ajayi from Yewa South, is compelled to preside over the sitting in the presence of the Clerk of the House, Adeyemo Taiwo, during the impeachment process. 18 out of the 26 members of the House, including members of the opposition People's Democratic Party, voted in favor of the impeachment, which is coming about 7 months after Olakunle Oluomo was sworn in as Speaker for a second term in office. At the end of it all, Oludaisi Elemide, a member from Madeda State constituency, was elected as the substantive Speaker.
Both the standing order and the Constitution gives us the right to elect our Speaker. And that is what was demonstrated this afternoon. We just want to pass it to the whole world that there has been a change in the leadership of this honorable House. And we are not out to fight governor or to do anything, but we are here in the interest of the masses. And we are working against anything that will not allow us to perform our duties. Not an offense, offenses. We will avail you with the hard copy of all the offenses.
Members exonerated the executive arm of government in the whole scenario, which led to the change of guard.
You can see what we have achieved today. Both members of the ruling party and opposition came together to rescue the state. So the entire members of opposition fully participated in this change of leadership.
The State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, who led men and officers to the complex, says normalcy has been restored.
We have restored normalcy, where there is no disturbance, no breach of peace around there. And as it is, there is absolute calm here. I think whatever issue they have will be resolved within themselves. They know how to do that.
Efforts to get the reactions of the impeached Speaker have so far proved abortive. In the meantime, the House has adjourned plenary for 1 week.
And to diplomatic matters, the United States Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, as part of his tour of some countries in the West African sub-region, met with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa. The U.S. top diplomat had stopped over at Cape Verde and Côte d'Ivoire before arriving in Nigeria. He was received by President Tinubu in the company of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Toga, and the Minister of Information, Mohammed Yusuf, and other top government officials.
The convoy of the United States Secretary of State, Mr. Antony Blinken, arriving at the forecourt of the presidential villa. He's received by the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, who leads him into a meeting with President Bola Tinubu. The bilateral meeting holds behind closed doors. Moments later, Mr. Blinken emerges in the company of Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister to provide details on the discussions.
They range from food security to agriculture, to pharmaceuticals, to security itself in the region. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu brought up the issue of Nigeria's membership and participation in the G20, as well as the United Nations Security Council.
Africa has shaped our past. It is shaping the present. It will shape our future. The United States is committed to strengthening genuine partnerships on the continent, to work to solve shared challenges, and also to deliver on the promise and the fundamental aspirations of our peoples. Nigeria, as Africa's largest country, largest economy, largest democracy, is essential to that effort. American companies are eager to partner with and invest in Nigeria's economy. particularly in the tech sector. We have tech giants that are teamed up with Nigerian partners to help meet President Tinubu's 1 million digital jobs initiative. Other companies are hard at work laying undersea cables, using satellite technology to expand access to the internet. Our tech incubators are fostering Nigeria's next startups. Our venture capital companies are working to finance them. So we want to work in partnership to help drive Nigeria's technological revolution, which is creating jobs, it's growing businesses, and it's spurring innovations in both of our countries. We very much appreciate Nigeria's leadership in ECOWAS to try to move to a return to the constitutional order and democracy in Niger after it's been disrupted. And we talked about building on the important summit that President Tinubu shared in December to try to see Niger get back onto the continent.
The Secretary of State also addresses questions on supporting Nigeria's fight against insecurity and the drive for new investment from the United States.
We are working to support Nigeria. We're working to support our Lake Chad region partners to strengthen the capacity of their security forces in a whole variety of ways to deal with insecurity. And yes, that does go to equipment, to technology, to weapons, and we're working on that. But it also goes to many other things, including information sharing, intelligence, technical support, advice, and it goes to having a comprehensive approach that genuinely focuses on citizen security, working with local communities in partnership, demonstrating that security forces are there first and foremost to protect them and to support their needs. Nigeria offers real, clear, compelling opportunities for investors. At the same time, I think it's no secret that there remains some long-term challenges that need to be overcome to really unlock the full potential. Tackling corruption, making it easier for foreign companies to repatriate capital, these will all pull in a transformative direction and pull in transformative investment. I know that President Tinubu was focused on these challenges, and we also welcome his very bold economic reforms to unify the currency and fuel subsidies. Thank you.
Nigeria is the third country that the Secretary of State will be stopping at as part of his travel to the West African region, as he seeks to strengthen security partnerships and encourage economic development in the region. From the presidential villa, Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
And finally, on News Round, the International Court of Justice has delivered an interim ruling in South Africa's genocide case against Israel. The UN's top court considered 9 emergency measures proposed by South Africa, leaving out its allegations of genocide. Israel has strongly dismissed and denied the allegations, calling it baseless. While the ICJ's president, Judge John Donoghue, did not dismiss the entire case brought by South Africa, she noted that there was sufficient evidence of a dispute between Israel and South Africa.
In the court's view, at least some of the acts and omissions alleged by South Africa to have been committed by Israel in Gaza appear to be capable of falling within the provisions of the Convention. In light of the following, the court concludes that, prima facie, it has jurisdiction pursuant to Article 9 of the Convention to entertain the case. Given this conclusion, the court considers that it cannot accede to Israel's request that the case be removed from the general list. I shall now read out the operative part of the order. For these reasons, the court indicates the following provisional measures. 1. By 15 votes to 2, the State of Israel shall, in accordance with its obligations under the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, in relation to the Palestinians in Gaza, take all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all acts within the scope of Article 2 of the Convention, in particular, A, killing members of the group, B, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, C, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, and D, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group.
And those are the top stories for the week. Thank you for watching. I'm Ladi Williams. Bye for now.